We'll start the program in about 2 minutes. Thank you. Welcome, everybody.
Can we turn the music off?
Is it off? Is the music off? Are we good sound-wise? Awesome, thank you. This is awesome to see so many people in the room together. This is an incredible program, and it's more incredible to actually see your faces and the friends and family of all the authors that are being recognized today. I'm Randy Goebel. I'm the Director of Engagement with Kent District Library, and welcome to the Wright, Michigan Short Story Competition Award Ceremony. We're at the Kent District Library Service Center. If you're not familiar with this facility, this is like our central hub for 20 branch locations. This is where our central services like programming and all the new books. If you ever had a chance to see the other side of the building, it's full of brand new books that are being cataloged and added to the system. But there are other services too, like HR, IT, marketing, etc. It all is kind of the hub here. But what's most important is Wright, Michigan. And what is Wright, Michigan? This is, I believe, our 10th year of Wright, Michigan, and the program has just grown incredibly as a short story competition. Most recently, we've added other types of creative expression through teen poetry. We've had teen poetry for a long time, but it made sense to bring them together because they really fit together with the same purpose, and that purpose is to help people express themselves, help them find their voice, help them share their story, because everybody has a story. Everybody has the right to and the opportunity to share it, and we should all want to hear these stories too, as we do. So this Wright, Michigan has grown incredibly, like I mentioned, and we've also added a number of library partners, which has helped incredibly too. So besides the library partners, we've had a long-standing partnership with Schuler Books. They've been super instrumental in this to us. They've printed the anthologies, which winners have received. And if you do not personally have one of these, you can buy them at the front desk from Pierre or through Schuler's website. Okay, so let's see. So Wright, Michigan has 4 basic categories: adults, teen, youth, and Spanish language. The Spanish language is relatively new, but it's grown incredibly. So it's really wonderful to see people being able to express it, because it's beautiful to see the language diversity. Also, the winners win prizes, nice dollar awards. Congratulations for that. Also, just the honor of being published. That's just a huge thrill to see your name in print and in the anthology. And my hat's off to you for your accomplishment. So anybody who would like more information about Wright, Michigan can find it online at wrightmichigan.org. We always keep this up to date with what's coming up next year, and also as the program expands. As like I mentioned, we're really into innovation and finding new ways to help people tell their stories. So last year we were totally remote. The year before we were canceled. But last year we were able to double up. We had 2 guest speakers, Peter Ho Davies and Susie Finkbeiner. So we had a nice live streamed award program. But this year it's awesome to be in person. And we're also live streaming too For anyone out there live streaming, if you'd like to give a shout out to your friends who are receiving awards today, you can just make comments in whatever you're watching the stream on, whether it's YouTube or Facebook. Those will be part of the recorded session that people can watch later after today's event. Okay, I guess with that, I think I'd like to recognize some of our partners. A number of them, I mentioned Schuler Books. They're also, Pierre has been very helpful in helping us identify our guest speakers and the people who write the forwards for us from years past. And also, of course, KDL. The other partner libraries that have been involved include Canton Public Library, Hancock School Public Library, and this is their second year, and they're located in the Upper Peninsula, like right here, if that's the Keweenaw Peninsula, they're there. And the Traverse Area District Library. And the Traverse Area District Library provided us with a video with a special thank you to the award winners. We're able to show that on the live stream. We're not able to show that in the event in the room today, but when you go home and check out the recording of this, you'll find that there. And we want to thank all of those libraries for helping us with this program. Also, our judges. We have a great panel of judges. Whoops, here they are. And every year we have a fresh new panel of judges, and they're always very excited to see the entries. We had over 1,100 entries this year, and they were read by about 130 volunteers who helped filter through all of the entries, and then the judges see the finalists that bubble up. The planning committee, Diane mentioned some of these earlier. I'll just give a quick rundown. Pierre is the gentleman who's with Schuler Books and is selling the books up front. He's also the one that's been helpful with us when picking out our guest authors. And Diane Cutler, of course, you know, everybody knows Diane, especially the people who have had entries and award winning. Diane's been our point of contact for this, and thank you for that, Diane. Katie Zuidema has worked really closely with schools. This has been a really huge growth area for Wright, Michigan, where teachers are finding that this is a great project to build into their course plans. And in fact, yeah. And Brad Baker is our creative person. Janice Greer, she's not here today. She's also been very helpful with all the program. Sara Proaño is our manager of community engagement, and she's been instrumental with helping us facilitate the Spanish language category. Remington Steed is our webmaster. He's in the room, so when you use the online system, it's called Submittable, where all the entries come in. It also facilitates all the 130 volunteers. It's an amazing system. He makes it look easy. I don't think it's easy, but he makes it look easy. Thank you, Remington. Corey's been really helpful with the volunteers too. 130 volunteers don't just walk in the door. They need a little roadmap for it. Corey's provided that roadmap. Also, I want to give a shout out to Kip Odell. Kip was our programming manager for a number of years at KDL and really championed this project along with Diane. He's moved out of state, so we're missing Kip. Henny is the new programming manager for KDL, so we're excited to have Henny aboard. And also David Specht. David Specht was our digital marketing specialist. He helped us out with social media, promotions, and helped really spread the word. We have a little footprint here in Kent County, but David really helped us get this to be a great, growing statewide program. Oops, I missed a page. I also wanted to acknowledge our judges. No, I did that already. I'm sorry. I do want to mention Lance Warner, our executive director of KDL, and also Bill and Cecile Fessenfeld, the owners of Schuler Books. They've been steadfast champions ever since this program was conceived 10 years ago. And again, I also want to thank the 130 volunteer readers, and of course, everyone who wrote a story and put up their story to share with the world. So at this point, I'd like to introduce my KDL colleague and friend, Diane Cutler.
I'm just going to be half-dressed here. I have to tell you, I appreciate the masks. We have someone in our household who is very vulnerable, so I do it out of respect for him. And I'm just going to put in a plug. This month is Gift of Life Donation Month. When you have a transplant patient in your family, you wear things like this, even when it catches on your earrings, so I apologize for that. This afternoon, I would like to introduce Stephen Mack Jones. Stephen is a Michigan treasure. We have very special people in our state that stay here and write about us, and I think we really should help celebrate those people. And Stephen, thank you for doing that. We, you know, if you're a reader, if you're a writer, you love our Michigan authors. Stephen grew up in Lansing and now lives in Farmington Hills, so thank you for driving over today. He has a background in advertising and marketing and communication, all those things that really help you as you're writing and coming up with new ideas. But he has most recently been a full-time writer, and most profoundly for the August Snow series that take place in Detroit. I am going to focus on this in a little bit, but I also have to give a shout out because this is another program that's very near and dear to my heart. Stephen is a two-time Michigan Notable Book Award winner. And I don't know that we have any other two-time winners. I think you may be it. Karen DeYoung. So I think that's pretty awesome. If you don't know about the Michigan Notable Book Program, it's led by the Library of Michigan, and those winners are announced in January. Are you doing a digital interview with them this year?
I think it's live.
Yahoo! I've been producing their digital videos for the last 2 years. That's another part of my job too. So with that, I would love to introduce Stephen Mack Jones as our keynote speaker and who wrote the foreword to our anthology this year.
Well, I'd like to begin by saying that I don't get out of the house much, so this is really new and wonderful to me to be with all of you here today. And first of all, I'd like to give a hand to all of the writers with us today. It's tremendous. It's quite an accomplishment. I'm going to switch glasses. It will not affect my personality, which some would say that's unfortunate. And I've decided to read just half of the foreword that I wrote, because I'll read half of it, but then I'll give you, the parents, the adults, the teens, the young ones that have entered this wonderful program, a little sage advice. And I can say it's sage advice because I am out of the house right now. Usually it's just called nagging and complaining, but my father lived a hard life. By the age of 12, he was driving a coal delivery truck, how most homes were heated in the 30s and 40s, to contribute money to the small house he shared with his 3 brothers, sister, and parents. All of my father's family worked, cleaning houses, factory, janitorial, in order to keep the lights on, the coal-burning furnace stoked in winter, and at least 2 meals a day at their small house on Hammond Street in Lansing, Michigan. He left school in the 10th grade so that he could work longer, harder for his family. And when war came to the world in 1940, my father joined the U.S. Army, where he faced bitter, hate-hardened adversaries at Fort Benning, Georgia, a place where the local population promised violence to any Negro seen wearing any uniform of the United States Armed Forces. I have a photo of my father wearing his Army dress uniform. He's laughing. He's laughing as if those threats meant nothing. He's laughing as if the bad juju of Southern white people meant little to him. After all, he had driven a truck and delivered tons of coal when he was 12 years old. That takes any childhood fear of boogeymen and monsters right out of you. But for all this hard, callous hand and bloody knuckled life, he had two true and steadfast companions, my mother and books. Before a long 12-hour shift at the local Oldsmobile automotive factory in Lansing, he had a book in his hands. My mother at times had to remind him to put whatever book he was reading down long enough to eat. Begrudgingly, he would eat if only to store energy to get through the day or night shift. And he would return home exhausted, smelling like hot steel. He would again eat, if only to renew his energy for at least an hour's worth of reading before bed. What did this high school dropout read? Treasure Island and Pilgrim's Progress, Principles of Mechanical Engineering, and the poetry of Robert Frost and Langston Hughes, books on financial investment strategies and James Baldwin novels, and Shakespeare, always Shakespeare. I was 5 years old when my father came home smelling like the hot grinding gears of a giant machine, and he grabbed me up and pushed me into the front passenger seat of our rusting used car. "You're old enough to have one now," he said as he drove. One of what? I wondered. He seemed uncharacteristically happy for someone who just finished a 12-hour blue-collar factory job, so I didn't ask. I wanted him to be happy. I always wanted him to be happy, if only for a few minutes in a day, 1 week out of a year. We parked in front of the new Lansing Public Library, and he told me it was time for me to have my own library card. Seated in the car and staring at the new modern building, he told me the world he grew up in had been small and tough and short-sighted. But books, reading, had taken him to the pyramids of Egypt and the furthest reaches of outer space. Books had transported him to the long-disappeared Jewish villages of Russia, to the distant futures of Isaac Asimov and Ray Bradbury. Books had given him hope where once there was none, and promise where there was little. "I didn't have too much of a chance to be a kid and get an education," he said as we got out of the car and walked to the shiny new building across the street from a green space named Reuter Park. "I want to make sure you and your brother have both, and besides me and your mom, your education starts right here." Still wearing his dark blue, sweat-stained work clothes, my father stood me in front of the library's long, sleek circulation desk. A woman smiled at us and said, "May I help you?" My father gave me a slight nudge and said, "Tell the lady why you're here." Hesitantly and in a small voice, I said, I'd like to get my library card. My father nudged me again, prompting me to add, please? The librarian's eyes widened, as did her smile. She spoke directly to me instead of my father, as if I was the most important person she'd met, at least on that particular late spring day. Yes, sir, she said brightly. Let's get you your own, very own library card, shall we? What do you like to read? Mostly books about space. Oh, she said. We have a lot of books about space, fiction and nonfiction. They say in several years we'll be able to fly people to the moon. And Mars, I added. She gave a gentle laugh. Yes, and Mars. And that's half of the foreword. You can read the rest at your leisure. If you don't have any bathroom magazines. Yeah, let's see what this guy had to say. Now, I really just wanted to stand here and congratulate and marvel at all of the writers in the room and the people that support them. Writing has been crazy and wonderful and so meaningful and surprising to me. I was in advertising and marketing communications as a profession for over 30 years. Sorry about that, pal. But I always wrote on my own. When I wasn't writing an ad for healthcare or computer software, or, hey, what kind of car do you drive? Oh, nice car. But what kind of oil do you use? Because motor oil is the life's blood of your car. Yes, guilty as charged. When I wasn't writing things like that, I was at home writing and practicing and trying to find my own voice. And that's something that all of you as writers are attempting to do. Some of you are struggling, that's fine. Some of you feel like you have found your voice. That's fine too. But as long as it's the voice that is speaking your truth. Because you're not writing for an audience. Believe it or not, you're not writing for an audience. You're not writing so that somebody can come up to you in Starbucks and say, hey, you're that writer. That doesn't happen. It just, I wish it did. I really wish it did. Yeah, I'll take a cappuccino. And your name? Steve. Okay, Steve, we'll meet you down at the other end. Steve? No, you're writing for yourself to find out what truths there are in you, how you see the world, how you feel your place is, what you feel your place is in the world. And believe it or not, there's someone out there who's not a writer who needs to hear what you've said, what you've written. Someone who needs to know that there is someone that understands them, someone that sees the world as they do. I wrote my first book, August Snow, just as a way of entertaining myself. I wasn't thinking about readers. Well, what do readers want to read? Well, since 5,000 books a month are published in the United States, who knows? I was writing to entertain and inform myself, to put down my thoughts on the world around us and the world near us. And it just so happened that somebody liked it. Somebody said, Steve, we're gonna pay you real money for this. It's, oh, go on, come on. Are you really? Yeah, I'm from Michigan, so it's like, yeah, sure. Yeah, you're gonna pay me real money. And, oh, that is real. Just for speaking my truth. Just for the privilege of entertaining myself. And soon I discovered that I was reaching other people. I was just telling these folks that I started getting fan mail. And it's rare when I talk about fan mail because somebody being a fan of me, I can't put those things quite together. I'm still working on making my wife and kids fans of me, really. But I received an email from a gentleman who read the book in Australia. And he said, Detroit's on my bucket list now, mate. It's like, wow. So to all of the writers in here, keep writing, keep discovering your world and the world around you. Make it funny. Make me cry. Move me. Make me think. But most of all, move yourself. Discover yourself. Thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here. It is absolutely wonderful to be here. Libraries are magic kingdoms. There's all sorts of magic in these walls. Discover that magic. Take advantage of that magic. Transport yourself. Thank you very much, and wish me luck. One last thing I'll say is with the 3 books in the series so far, I didn't think anything about it. It was just me sitting in my smoking jacket. Yeah, okay, I see my wife looking at me. Sitting in my sweats, making things up. And the most recent development is I've signed an option with CBS Studios for the development of the series as either a film or television series on streaming. So thank you. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying you have no clue where the words that you're writing today will take you tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Do we have, there we go. I'm quizzing you now.
Yes, yes.
I promised him I would be nice in my quizzing. So KDL has, one of the things that we've been doing since we shut down in 2020 is we do a lot of virtual programs, and we've gotten really good at streaming. And thank you so much, Kevin and Remington, for doing this, because this is part of what makes this really awesome. But we've gotten really good at interviewing our authors too, so you're not getting out of this.
All righty.
We have a room full of writers. They need some more inspiration. Tell us about your writing process. How has it changed over time?
To be honest with you, everyone heard the question, my writing process? I'm actually stalling on answering that question by asking you if you heard the question. Because in all honesty, my writing process is, if you gave a 2-year-old a crayon and told them to draw a straight line, my process would be like that. It would be all over the place. Sometimes I try to write in a very linear fashion. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, oh, there's an idea for Chapter 17. Now let me get back to Chapter 4. Oh, and 25. This has to happen in Chapter 25. And before I know it, I have, 80,000 words all over the place. So my process really begins with editing. When you write your first draft, that's the art of writing. When you revise that, that's the craft. Get real good at the craft.
Good, thank you. Kind of like me, I'm all over the place. What inspires you? What motivates you? What gets you going every day?
My family. And reading the news, which I've kind of, cut back on, because I don't want to end up with ulcers. But yeah, just seeing what's happening in the world and feeling blessed that, I have a family that kind of likes me, sometimes feeds me, and just knowing that there are so many stories to be told. Stories that come out of hearing someone in the grocery store, overhearing somebody at CVS, reading a quote in a newspaper or a blog, things of that nature.
I like all those things. Grocery store conversations are really good.
Oh, they are.
Put your ears on.
They are.
So I mentioned that you're a Michigan Notable Book winner, not once, but twice. And as a good long-term librarian, I have to promote that because awesome, we love what our friends at the Library of Michigan do. Tell me, what your response is to the Michigan Notable Book. What does that mean to you to be a twice winner?
It blows me away. There are no words for it. I'm honored. I'm humbled. I almost, in some ways, I kind of feel like, well, a little hokey, but my father passed away in 2003, and the times that this has happened, I feel like there's this pat on my shoulder saying, "Good job, boy." So the recognition is wonderful, but it's also gratitude.
Some of my best friends are on that committee.
I'll make sure to send flowers.
Last question. What are you reading now?
We were just talking about this. I just finished the fourth book in the series. It's at my publisher for editing now. So I'm kind of taking a breather. I read a adult mystery book, really wonderful, by author named Josh Stallings, called Tricky, and it has such a wonderful heart. Just an amazing heart. Also, we were talking about poetry. I find reading poetry between books kind of recharges me. It brings me back to the value of words, the heft, the gravitas, the color, the smell, the importance of individual words. And I love reading like Pablo Neruda and Octavio Paz, Spanish poets, and Seamus Heaney, an Irish poet that won the Nobel Prize for Literature. So poetry kind of brings me back to the basics of the meaning of words. I mean, you can look for the meaning of words in Twitter, but I mean, come on. But yeah, that's what I'm reading now.
Awesome. I need to check out Seamus.
Oh, he's
good.
wonderful.
Thank you very much. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us today. Thank you for being our keynote speaker. We so appreciate you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for inspiring. And again, thank you to all the authors for sharing and inspiring. We're going to go on to the awards. And the way this is going to work is I'll read off names. And when you hear your name, if you're here, step up and Diane will give you your certificate. And we have an opportunity to have a photograph taken in front of the poster. So we'll start with that. And we'll start first with the youth category. All right. So our Judge's Choice winner in the youth category is The Adventures Behind the Canvas by Amelia Veltman of Caledonia. Amelia has a flair for drama. She loves to be creative in all that she does. Her favorite pastime is reading books, When the opportunity came to participate in the Right Michigan contest, she jumped on it. She's creative, compassionate, and has a love for life. She hopes you love her story. Congratulations, Amelia. Our Judge's Choice runner-up is The Unexpected Catastrophe by L. Einfeld, Grand Rapids. Ever since Ellie read the Harry Potter book series, she's wanted to become a writer. In the 4th grade, she and her friends wrote a 177-page book. They had a lot of encouragement from their teacher, Sister Sylvie, and to this day, Ellie still thinks about the teacher's encouraging words to help her write her future books. Our Reader's Choice winner is Running from the Future by Addie Jane of Grand Rapids. Addie? Is it Addie? Addie, thank you. Addie is a passionate reader and a fictional story writer. His story was inspired by the tragic and violent events that are happening around us based on race. He feels these incidents destroy our energy, our inner peace, and our values. Addie chooses to express that in a form of a story to make people understand that these events increase hatred and decrease humanity. He feels that we are all collectively liberators of equality and that we all have indistinguishable existence and rights. Thank you, Addie. All right. I'm messing up the screen here. There we go. All right, published finalists. We can do these one at a time if you're here. First one, Sevi Roddy. Is Sevi here? Congratulations, Sevi. Great, and next is Colette Horvath in the youth published finalist. Congratulations, Colette. And Amelia Bogertman. Is Amelia here? Okay. Okay. They're kind of reverse. We're going young to, okay, we're going backwards. Next is the teen category. And just a quick reminder to those who are watching online, please help us celebrate the winners by adding your shout outs in the comments section. Okay, so our Judge's Choice winner is Chasing Rainbows by Kavina Clear of Niles. Last summer, the seed of the story was planted when Kavina heard The Whole of the Moon, sung by a Celtic woman. Given her fondness for botanical metaphors, it may come as no surprise to learn that Kavina plans to practice small-scale organic vegetable farming as her profession in the future. Congratulations. Judge's Choice runner-up is Help is on the Way by Megan Hemmer of Houghton. Not here? Okay. I hope you're watching online. Congratulations, Megan. Megan enjoys math, playing with her rabbits, and water skiing. She hopes to major in biomedical engineering in college and go on to be a reconstructive plastic surgeon. She's also thankful for being chosen to be in the top 10 and hopes that the story will help spread the message to stop the stigma surrounding mental health. Okay, Reader's Choice winner is This Chapter of Our Lives by Meredith Mead of Traverse City. Meredith hopes to attend Cornerstone University and earn a degree in creative writing, and she dreams of becoming a young adult or children's book author. She'd like to thank her family and friends for encouraging her and supporting her dreams. And now in the teen category, the published finalists, which we have 3. The first one, title of the book is Drowning by Dev Bice of Caledonia. Congratulations. Next runner-up is Fate of the Fallen by Paige Harry of Midland. And our final published finalist is October 8th, 1983 by Peyton Cosbeek of Jennison. Yes, Peyton. Thank you. Great, now we're into the adult category. Judge's Choice winner is Serendipitous by Brenna LaForge of Battle Creek. Brenna discovered her love of reading and writing very young and still remembers spending hours typing away on her family's desktop computer. After years of working in libraries, archives, and museums, she received her public history degree from Western Michigan University, turning her love of history and books into a career. Congratulations, Brenna. Judge's Choice runner-up is It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Robots by Loretta Jonke of Wyoming. Loretta lives in Wyoming with her family. While she enjoys writing quirky stories, Loretta thinks her greatest talent is the ability to knit and read at the same time. Loretta spends her time driving teenagers around, hanging out with small children, grocery shopping, and telling people how to spell her name. Thank you, Loretta. Our Reader's Choice winner is The Crossing by Will Miedema of Rockford. Will was born and raised in West Michigan, but he's definitely going to die in Florida. After getting his BA in history from MSU, he took brief stints in construction, customer service, and tech support before landing in marketing. It's funny how marketing and writing comes together, where he's been ever since. He's working on his first novel, but don't ask him how it's going on. Ooh. All right. Congratulations, Will. So now our published finalists. The first published finalist is Prismatic Sun by Julie Faust of Barryton. Julie. Great. And the next published finalist is Show Me How to Feel the Stars by Chris Sorensen of Ann Arbor. And if you're in need of banjo support, Chris is your person to help you out with that. Congratulations, Chris. Next is Riparian Zones by K.S. Walker of Grand Rapids. Great, now we're going to move on to the Spanish category. The Judge's Choice winner is Carrera de Bicicleta by Elijah Kuiper of Grand Rapids. Elijah has always loved reading and writing fictional stories in English and Spanish. He's been creating art his whole life, drawing, playing piano and trumpet, and making stop-motion movies. He loves to learn about nature and animals and sponsors the Cheetah Conservation Fund. Congratulations, Elijah. Judge's Choice runner-up is El Corazon by Sophia Armas of Grand Rapids. Sophia was born in Guatemala City and raised by her Guatemalan father and U.S.-born mother. Sophia was homeschooled until moving to Michigan, and she's always loved creating stories and making them come alive. Sophia's writing is influenced by her Guatemalan roots and the legends of the Mayan stories she learned from her father and grandparents. Congratulations. The Reader's Choice winner in the Spanish category is El Indiano by Miguel Reagan of Grand Rapids. Congratulations, Miguel. Miguel was reading both Spanish and English by the age of 2. His favorite subjects in school are math, language art, science, art, and Spanish. Miguel visited Colombia when he was little, but he hopes to go back soon to visit La Sierra Nevada and Santa Marta, the place that inspired him to write the story. All right, and our published finalists in the Spanish category. Sophia Toboy of Grand Rapids. Lily Orange of Granville. And Sylvia Fisher of Grand Rapids. Great. Let's give another round of applause for all of our winning authors. So that was wonderful. Yes, thank you for being here today. On behalf of Schuler Books, Kent District Library, Canton Public Library, Hancock Public Schools Library, and the Traverse Area District Library, thank you for helping us to make this celebration special, to celebrate the incredible talent that Michigan has to offer at the Right Michigan Awards ceremony. Thanks again to our keynote speaker, Stephen Mack Jones. Thank you again to all of our judges and all of the people that have made this possible. And just a quick reminder, the anthology is on sale at Schuler Books at the front table. See Pierre about that, or you can buy it online through Schuler's website. We're proud to work with Chapbook Press, and if you have questions or are interested in having a book printed at Schuler's, yes, you can print your own book. Pierre will be happy to help you out with that. We'd now love for each of you to enjoy a piece of cake, some sparkling cider, get your copies signed by your friends and colleagues who have won. And again, thank you and congratulations.
This is Linda Smith, Head of Teen Services at the Traverse Area District Library. And on behalf of the library and the entire Traverse City community, I would like to congratulate Meredith Mead for winning the Reader's Choice Award for this chapter of our lives. Your story certainly has changed the way I think about my favorite books. Congratulations.